Let it go. 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 Lord, help me let it go. 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 Lord, help me let it go. Help me let it go. Yeah, let it go. Yeah, let it go. Help me let it go. Master Jesus, let it go. Yeah, help me let it go. Go, 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 go. Oh, let it go. I'm tired, let it go. Give your heart to Jesus. Let it take control. Just sit and worship. I know it hurts you, and I know it's painful. No way to wait, so you have to let it go. Your best friend is not your secret enemies. Let it go. Your wife is getting married to another man. Your husband are falling in love with another woman. Don't let it bother you. I say let it go. If someone overlook you because you live in zero, if they insult you.
All right, here we come this evening, folks. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is Freedom Watch program right here from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio, and of course, your host and anchored presenter, Alfonso Zienso, right here over the microphone.
Be a beggar. You will not marry. You will not build.
I want to welcome our good, beautiful people here at neighboring Bay State. I'm talking about Brother Sen, Jackson, and of course, Mikey walking, taking the shock off from Oregon. Orito and Adolfo's welcome in the house of LPR. We want to take a different type approach to this conversation here this evening. We want to engage the community as well.
Let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
And that's the leadership of Metro DC. Major preparations, according to what we are hearing right here at LPR, in observance of the 174th Independence anniversary of the motherland Republic of Liberia.
Yeah.
And I saw you hearing hovering over the LPR and right at your dinner table. Whatever you are doing here is the voice of a gospel artist, Minister Jemima Walker. Let it go. How many of us can let go? No, we want to be like the Israeli. You punch me, I punch you.
What bigger than your problem, so just let it go. Just keep on praying, he will make your blessing overflow. To be the best and more the rest, you gotta pray more. The God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, the God of mighty blow. But there is
yes, and my favorite team, the Italians, as usual. We took down those guys today in the, I don't know, RIP to England.
Begging God for mercy. Thank you for your love, blessing, and forgiveness. You solved my problem, Lord, you took me from the wilderness.
Footballer see footballer high.
Bless me, then my enemy, they get invest. No matter what the problem is, man, just let it go. Your delay is not your denial, everybody know. Just keep on trusting in Jesus.
Oh, England will for next season. Let it go. We be you. Nothing can do. No protest can save you, my son. Taliman Willita, Moses, and Frederick, Edward, and Abraham Bango. So, what are you beautiful people? Good evening, good morning to whatever you are. You are under the sounds of the voice of the Liberia Public Radio, and I'm Alfonso Zienso. So, right here, very shortly, my guests, analysts, are going to be joining me here. And, as time goes by, as we try to change the flavor, we pivot and look at what is happening in the community. But don't get me wrong, nothing is off the table. The national issue can easily be incited by manipulating the conversation and holding them responsible.
The barrenness, pack your low and go. Living the life of joblessness. Let it go. I say you spirit of suppression.
All right, let's get the programs on the way. It's 7:59 Eastern Standard Time right here in the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio, and this is a regular Sunday editions of Freedom Watch. We want to thank you so much for sharing your Sunday with us right here at the right time. And remember, this is not for us, it's not an entertainment industry to bring you news as it is in a proportionate fashion. We do not disadvantage you. We give you the opportunity, however, to be a call out or even your tweet. We also hold you responsible because we all have a shared responsibility in making sure that the country is in good shape. We can't just hold the executive, not the legislature or the judiciary branch of government. Things that we talk, things that comes out of our mouth also help to create the already chaotic situations on ground. And so no one is off the radar right here on the Liberia Public Radio. Let's get the program going. Okay, so I want to welcome you. Something caught my attention to yesterday, and I told you here, LPR, we can say we represent Liberia, so we talk Liberia, but we try to keep it in a very honest fashion. The Director General of the Liberian News Agency, in his regular programming yesterday at Panorama, he took a trip as usual. I just want to show this little clip here, courtesy of the Liberia News Agency, and we're going to hopefully to have Kwame Weeks here. I want you to see this here, and hopefully here, and I will have the chance to play the other one.
Hi, Move. How are you, Pops? What you carrying? So I see your saw, your hammer, and everything. Are you a carpenter?
Yeah, I'm a listener also.
You're a carpenter and listener.
Yes.
How old are you? Let me give you. Maybe you're 75.
That's about 56.
56?
Yeah.
No way. You can't be 56.
56.
I'm 56. You're my second big equal.
I'm telling you something.
My man, no way.
Okay, what we'll do, I'll
Yeah.
do my best actually.
My man, please. I said, please can't show the my first time coming show myself on camera.
Okay, we
Make
will
sure you show
interrupt
two
this. Our
Okay,
guests are
right,
standing
let me move
back,
my
and I'm going to bring this here
Yeah.
as usual.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah, the 256 years old.
All right, so I just want you to bear with us. We're going to interrupt this here, and I'm going to bring back. There's something I want you to get the attention. Something is happening. And this is why we always like to hold these politicians responsible. And not just on the politician community leaders, because these people, they start from the grassroots and decide to go hosted power, which is also good. But how often do we even track these people to record and their honesty? I will still play that after we have our guests. Our guests, they are arriving backstage. LPR analyst Amos George is based in Atlanta, Georgia, is here. Joining us here, I'm going to be bringing him. Mr. George is here. And also, Mr. John Pearson is the vice president of the Liberian Association within the DC Metropolitan area that he's also here. Let me just bring him in. So I want to welcome him. I believe it is the first time, I'm not sure, on the Liberia Public Radio or whether you had a chance to listen to Liberia Public Radio. But here we have this evening, Mr. Vice President. Good evening. Let me complete this title here. Liberian people title, if you play with it, then you play with 1/3 of their life. So let me just do it here for you. I know some people don't like it, but let me just do it here. It's important that we do this. What we receive, we're going to put it, we're going to do it as it is. So, and I'm going to be breaking in the president as well. LC8, just bear with us. DC. Okay. VP. Yeah, VP. That's much better. And I don't want to go to DC before they summon me for something. Okay, let me bring into one of the icons in this business. Those are the people who try to follow suit. I'm not sure whether she's going to even retire. She mounted over the microphone, did a lot for the country. She's a professor here, and now she's serving the community. Veteran General and President of the Metro Liberian Community, I believe. Professor World Monterey is here as well. Okay, somebody have fan or something in the background? Doing some little bit.
Yeah. That's me.
Okay, I think you want to pay the kind of people the officials we have here. All right, when any ticket come to you, go to the association for the whatever fundraiser that is coming for the Independent. Okay, let's do this here. Let me bring the president up here. Okay, then let's see here how Bamboo gonna divide cola. Okay, guys, Professor, Vice President Pearson, good evening and welcome on the official news outlet of the Liberia Public Radio. Good evening and welcome to all of you.
Good evening. Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening.
All right, Professor Tai, welcome. I believe this is the second time. And also with me here, hopefully some other folks going to join here. They are our contributor and analyst. It's a community. So I believe we're going to have a community conversation here this evening, correct? So, okay.
Yes.
Okay, let's start the conversation here with much time. I hope, I believe your other folks are going to be joining us here. We are hearing here from the New England Bureau that some preparation is in the making in observance of the 174th Independence anniversary near the Capitol, within the corridors of the Capitol to Washington, D.C. Is that information correct, guys?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so then let's have a conversation. So what I'm going to do, it's going to be a combination of things here because I have a very sensitive audience. They are also critical and they also hold me accountable. So what are we celebrating? People will be wondering, what are these guys doing in the community? What are they doing? The country is bleeding. The country is in the fight for coronavirus. So what is the essence? What are we getting together? Is there any package involved in this celebration for which you guys have put the program together?
Well, one thing you will notice, well, good evening, everyone. And if you're watching at another time, maybe during the day, good afternoon, good morning, because we're all over the world. One thing you will notice about all of the communication that's gone out, we've never used the word celebrate. Okay? We have said that we are commemorating the 174th anniversary of Liberia's independence. And we are not celebrating because, as you rightfully said, the country is bleeding. I don't know anyone who has not lost a friend, a relative, a loved one. And therefore, when we first started organizing this project, the 26 series of programs, we had focused on getting, trying to honor graduates, children, people who had graduated 2020, 2021. And these people had not been able to celebrate anything because of COVID. And therefore, we decided that instead of just coming together, let's celebrate our children who graduated, our friends and family members who had graduated, even during this difficult period. And then in the midst of all this planning, boom, COVID escalated in Liberia, and we decided that we will use the funds towards COVID relief in Liberia, and it will be more of a fundraiser and awareness program than a celebration.
Now my cholesterol is going down a little bit. I know there is something they're going to be going back home, which is my ultimate interest. That's exactly what you are doing, Professor, with you and your folks. Let me bring in the Vice President. Mr. Vice President, what makes it so necessary? What makes it so much important that the Metro DC should be involved? And who are all involved in this sort of program?
Well, good evening, everybody, and good morning, like the madam said, to people in other parts of the world. It's a good question. But Washington, D.C. metro area has always been pretty much a leader in most programs, taking more action, taking in America to benefit Liberia. And so as a new leadership, we have, we hit the ground, basically running, trying to do things because of the times that we're in right now, the COVID time. We didn't sit around to make excuses for COVID because it's a worldwide issue. So, we started first with a retreat. We put together a plan of action right away after taking the leadership. And we went ahead and held a Black History Month program during the COVID. We highlighted some very important parts of Liberia and program, and Liberia is important to the world and America overall. And we went ahead and had an immigration meeting with in collaboration with the African communities together, and also another organization called Undocked Blacks. Today, because of that, many of our members or Liberians on LRIF, the program that was approved during Donald Trump time, a lot of them only have received their green cards already, and many more are still receiving. It's pending. And we're working towards the 26 program. We're putting together a lot of programs that will benefit Liberia, and that will actually will be followed by a program, a COVID relief program for Liberia. So that's where we stand right now.
Okay, Mr. George, don't hesitate. Let me go back to the president, Professor Toure. You are a communications expert, that I can say. So I have no doubt this has been properly communicated with relevant groups involved, perhaps the government of Liberia, to what you're doing, the Ministry of Health, the embassy here. Have you reached out to all of these groups, interest group, with respect to what you want to do?
Well, our first stop was the Liberian embassy in the U.S. And we have been given the authority to host the 26th festival on the grounds of the embassy. And that will be held on July 24th. And Liberians will come there together to rally and think about what's going on at home, try to raise some funds and see what we can do to raise awareness of what people can do to stop this pandemic from devastating the country, especially taking the vaccination. A lot of people have misconceptions that either the vaccination is making them get COVID, so they're refusing to take the shots. And until we get enough people in Liberia who are vaccinated, it will be difficult to end COVID in Liberia. So we're working towards that. So I actually spoke to the Minister of Health, Dr. Wilhelmina Jala, this afternoon, and she is actually involved in the program. We have a program that will be held on July 25th. It is in collaboration with the Friends of Liberia, and these are former Peace Corps volunteers in the USA. And together we are holding a Zoom program, and Dr. Jala is going to give us an overview of what's going on in Liberia concerning COVID, and she will guide us in how we can best help. She will tell us what the status of COVID in the country is, and we will pass by her our plans, and she will tell us what the needs are and how we can help to satisfy those needs. So yes, the ambassador is on the program for July 31st. We are having a 26th ball. And at that ball, which is also going to raise funds to help with the COVID, the ambassador is featured with with his a letter to the community in the program, souvenir program, and he is on the list to speak and make remarks. We also have Liberians from across the U.S. For example, Wilmot Collins, who is a mayor of a city in Montana, the city of Helena.
Never know.
He is our guest speaker, or he's our special guest during the July 26th program, which will be held on the 31st. So yes, indeed, different groups are involved. We have the youth, the younger people, younger Liberians, a group called the All Liberian Network, and they too are collaborating with us in putting this program together. So we've reached out, and we're still reaching out.
Still reaching out, and that's the kind of sort of network that we are doing here, doing right now. And both of you can kind of play out when you come. I don't want to be calling specific person. I know both you are here as executive of these organizations to give us an insight here. What is the risk factor involved that you or LCA took into consideration to embark? And the reason I'm asking, there are a lot of things out there, apprehensions. The Liberian groups in the USA, they are not doing this, they are eating money, no adequate accountability. So that sort of artificial telepathy fingers or hand is being developed by Liberians, not to give anything to organizations, not in total, to be fair and balanced here. Do you think that you have kind of get this message out for them to be convinced to say, okay, we can do this and we're sure we're going to get a result? Or after this whole thing, will we come back here to also tell the community, no matter how it turned out to be, the outcome of the result?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, we are in the process of putting together a Liberian community coronavirus task force in our community. And the task force will be headed by a person of integrity, as we all are right here. And we know that they are decent Liberians because we work with them all day long. And those who are not, we have not tried to associate with those. The best that I can say to you is that up until this point, we have a good track record. We have a very good financial management team that has, in fact, during our during the retreat where we put together our plan of action for the LCADC, one of the things that came out, one of the outcomes of that retreat is a financial management guidebook. We have a guideline for financial management within the organization, and that's where most organizations, Liberian organizations, fail. They try to do it by heart. They just get in there and just do what is easy, what is expedient, and it leaves a lot of loopholes and openings where the financial management is not tight enough. And so you have similar to what happens in Liberia. If you don't have a good system in place, the possibility of there being problems is very high. So the best thing to do is have good financial management.
Yeah. And that's the problem. Let me bring in the vice president. Mr. Vice President?
Yes. Thank you, sir. I agree with what the madam said. I just want to piggyback on what she said. You know, one thing about us as Liberians, I've noticed that we like to compare other countries with Liberia. We see a lot of good things going on, and we say, why can't we? Why can't it be Liberians? Why can't it be Liberia?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we say it and then we'll go back in our basement and drink our beer and do nothing about it. Criticize. You know, we're very good at that. But taking actions is one problem that we have. But fortunately, this group did not fear any of those. We hear those criticism, we hear all those things. This need to be done, that need to be done. But like I said, we hit the ground running and we block out all the noise. Because we know once the people see the consistency, people will join. Liberians want to do good back home. They know what's happening, they want to help. The problem is they don't trust each other. And sometimes you got to instill that trust in people in order to follow.
Do they have reason for that?
Well, if I tell you they have reason for that, there's a reason for everything. You know, there's a reason for everything. You know, and I'm not a politician. I'm not going to go into it, but I'm sure they have their reason.
Right.
And I've been a member of organization. I'm the former president of the United Neighbor Citizen Council in Washington D.C. metro area. And I know what I've tried to do, and I know what we've done. We have the national leadership, you know, and so far. So everywhere you go, I've gone all across the country. Every time you go, you're well received by the people. But to put a program in place that will benefit the community and Liberia, you know, as well, it's hard because of lack of trust in the community and in the people. And these people love each other. We love to get together and speak our colloquial and do our thing, eat our palm butter and everything. But when it comes to really collaborating with each other, somewhere there's a glitch somewhere, and we still have to cross that line.
Okay.
I want to also, you asked us about the safety measures. We followed the lead of the Washington, D.C. mayor. And so when she lifted the ban for DC, where you can have as many people gathering because the incidence of new infections has gone so low in this area that Washington, D.C. is allowing people to gather. And we are gathering also in Maryland, and the same. The ban has been lifted because for weeks you don't get even one death. So it's looking pretty good in DC and Maryland for today. The same is not true for Liberia and other parts of the world. But where we are, where we live, the ban has been lifted because many people are getting vaccinated and people have been wearing their masks.
Professor, how you doing?
How are you, Mr. George?
If I may ask you one question. What is the cooperation from citizens in the Washington area, Liberians living there, towards this program?
Well, we are getting a lot of in fact, okay, so the 26th ball is on the 31st, and it will be held at the Ukrainian Hall in on New Hampshire Avenue in Silver Spring, right? And people were, you know, our members were given 2 levels of tickets. You got the $100 tickets and the $50 tickets. And the $100 tickets, you will get a list. You'll be on a list in the program book as a patron. And you also get preferential seating up front. And I'm telling you, the $100 tickets are going faster than the $50 tickets. That is a way to gauge the response of the community. They are buying the tickets. And so also I'm getting a lot of calls from people who are telling me that they will be at the embassy on the grounds on the 24th. And some of them are trying to get tables to sell food or sell their African clothing, sell jewelry. and promote their businesses or promote their organizations. And so we're getting response from the community.
Okay. To the Vice President, let me ask this question. Is there any target set amount that you people are expecting to raise at the end of this program?
That's a good question, and our financial team is not here. They have the records, and basically we set our target at tickets we sell. The tickets sell, and with the time we're in right now, we're hoping to raise upwards of $30,000. This is just for the ball, so I really can't give you specific numbers.
Okay, so then let me ask here, maybe the professor, do you have anything on top of your head?
No, thank you.
Okay, let me welcome our own Samson Brantot of the Liberia Public Radio, host of Conversation with Samson To from the liberal state of California. He is tonight. Okay, if you were to permit me, Professor, let me just get this out to the audience, because what matters to brand name. And for some of us that have followed your work from time to time, it is very much important. Other people can remember. So the letter you see here, maybe there must be, and the need that we added that people will easily know is woman machining rate. If you remember those days on ELBC, that's the voice there. That's called, currently is a professor at the Morgan University right there. So we see people of good credential, credibility that have really given back to the country. So talking about that, let's dwell on that, because in as much we want our people to give, we want to kind of reassure them as well. Whatever they're going to be put into this, it will be used for the purpose. At the end of the day, and I heard you saying, Madam President, you have had a conversation with the Minister of Health, which is a very good thing. They are our leaders. Now we're going to see a representation from this leadership, that you will, even at the end of the day, somebody from the leadership will go on the ground to see, or we're just going to put them in a barrel, whatever raise, or just send it out there, because that will also give you eye-catching issues and challenges, and perhaps maybe more information that you would need to see or know for yourself. Will we have someone leaving from here to go in Liberia at the end of the day?
Most likely. What we do not want to do is we do not want to take these funds that are raised to buy a ticket and pay for someone to go live in hotel and this and that. And that will be expensive. So we will look at it. If we can get volunteers who are already on their way to Liberia out of their own pockets, we are not at the stage where we can afford to send someone to deliver money or to deliver goods. We can send that money by Western Union. We can send goods, ship them. But if you see someone on the ground, rest assured, they pay their own tickets, at least for now.
Okay.
Because when we took over, the community did not have much in the bank, and so we were struggling to raise money and run things, and at the same time help. So yeah, it will be a high profile thing.
I agree with you. I'm not a guy who is also in favor of wasteful spending, like my man from California, that they want to kind of. I like to strategically portion resources. So let me ask this here: is this in collaboration with you? Is it under the umbrella of EULA, or this is exclusively the Metro DC leadership work?
No. EULA has nothing to do with this at all.
Why?
Because we are an entity all on our own. We are members of EULA. We are a member of EULA, and we have projects on our own as well. So no, this project is not a EULA project. It's an LCADC project. We are collaborating with, I would say, 2 organizations. One is the All Liberian Network, and that too is an LCADC organization that is in this area. They may have members outside, but they're established in the, in our area, in our metro area. And we are also collaborating with Friends of Liberia for one of the programs that will be held. The Friends of Liberia is only working with us on that program on Sunday, the 25th, where we are looking at all Liberians coming together. So we're saying one Liberia against COVID, and we're working with the Liberia. But the project is an LCDC project.
Well, that's good. All right. Thomas Joyce, you want to come in?
Yeah. Let me go back to Madam President, Professor. The issue of trust in our society has been one of the difficult problems in our community. Now, what you are embarking upon, I know many people, the question will come to mind is, anything that you people raise from here, the beneficiary in Liberia, will they receive it? And that is one of the problems. I know that you people are just a new, taking what this leadership don't have that kind of monetary power to sponsor people to go to Liberia. But my question is, would you people do everything within your power to make sure whatever is raised from your program, that the people that it is intended for, that they be the beneficiary of this, of the funds or material that was raised to go to Liberia, would be the beneficiary to receive it? Will you people put something in place just to guide them? Because normally when you call government name institution in Liberia, it raises eyebrow, because we know how government handles situation in Liberia. And since you may not have a direct representative there, what other measures you could say that in place, that whatever raised from here, that the people on the ground will receive it?
Well, frankly, to tell you the truth, I actually do plan to go to Liberia on my own. I had my ticket, but I just didn't go during this period because I needed to make sure I don't get there and somebody tell me you can't get on the plane to go back to the 26 program because you COVID positive. So I was supposed to be in Liberia on the 3rd of July and return on the 21st. But I said, this is too close. We've heard of so many stories of people not being able to get on the plane. So I decided to postpone my trip and cancel or postpone my ticket for another time. And if necessary, I will go on the ground. And if there are other officers who can afford to go on their own, we will go there and we will make sure that it's done properly. And I think that there are so many ways. There are ways where you can make sure that things get given to the people. And I remember in 2019, or was it 2020? There was a COVID project relief that EULA did. I don't know how well that went, but I think they were distributing food because there was a lockdown. They were distributing food and rice and all kinds of things because people couldn't get out. And right now, because there's no lockdown, we don't see the need to distribute food. But as a media person, I think we need to distribute information. We need to distribute information that the vaccine is critical to stopping COVID. We need to get it out in as many of the local languages as possible. We need to get it in all the counties on the county radio stations. And so there are ways to help that you don't have to put money in hands of people, but you can put materials, the PPEs. They need to be with the nurses. If you just take them and give them to clinics and hospitals, and give them to the nurses themselves, they will be able to wear them and protect themselves. So I think there are ways that we can do this.
Okay, so let me come to
But
the.
it's important. The reason why I'm sorry, the reason
No,
why
go ahead.
we think it's important to take the cue from the ministry is because if you leave from America and just go start doing things, it could be really harmful if you're not doing it in collaboration, because the needs have been assessed by the government. Now, the ministry is working very closely with the Center for Disease Control, the CDC. They have people entrenched in the ministry who are helping to guide them. And so it's important to listen to them and see what they're saying, and then we can find our way after that.
Okay, then let me bring in the vice president. Mr. Vice President?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I said this is a community conversation because the language, the tone, the message we put out there could potentially bear out fruit. And so we are here to have this sort of conversations, and not that we question this leadership, what they're going to do, but the public also deserve to know that. So the issue of this transparency is one of the stigma in our daily lives. As this leadership address that, and all of these apprehension, the questions, and even some of the comments we're going to be putting out here later on, are you also having conversations behind the scene with the government, with the ministry, those who want to at the end of the day, who will be in charge of this here, say, hey, listen, we understand X, Y, Z, but this is the position. We are also accountable to the community that we represent. Have you had that sort of conversation with the authority?
Well, me personally, no.
Not I mean the leadership, or probably the president. Maybe I mean, I'm not saying everything should come out here, but
Right.
what we are trying to do now to set the basis that there is some sort of reassurance of what this leadership is doing, and we who here in the diaspora, no matter what you for against, to support. We can have these big political discussion, but when the COVID is subsided and something, then we can come back and say, this is who we want to be the head. But when the country is sick and everybody's sick, dying, then we don't have a country.
Well, that's true. That's true, and I agree with you. The COVID thing, it got many phases. I live in Montgomery County, in the DC metro area, and last week it was on the news that nearly everybody that is dying, that have died in the past maybe a month or 2 months, are all non-vaccinated people. So the vaccination is working. And when you talk to people in Liberia, they are very reluctant to go and take it because of conspiracy theories and people saying things that make no sense. So that is the thing. So I think education will be a key part of our involvement. We're also blessed to have some people, prominent Liberians in the area, such as Dr. Dube Nyang, a personal friend of mine. He's been very, very active in the COVID issues in Liberia and here too. So he can be somebody that can be on our program, on our, planning on what to do in Liberia. But all the, concerns and cautions, we're aware of those. We're aware of those. And it's unfortunate that Liberia now, facing what it's facing. But, we all have to come together and try to help the people on the ground. So whatever program that is put together, I guarantee you that we're going to carry according to plan.
Madam President, you want to add to it?
Well, the only thing I would say is that, we just started the talk with people on the ground. So it's in the early stages. We had our first conversation with the minister, and we plan to go to other institutions as well. But it's not completely laid out because we are still trying to put it together exactly how it will run. And so we cannot give you definitively exactly what will happen, but we want to listen first to the ministry. I mean, after all, we got to have respect for our, the
Yes.
people in charge.
Right.
And then you listen to them respectfully, and then you use your own judgment to incorporate some of what they say with what you think will best serve your community actions here and will best benefit people in Liberia.
Yeah, that's right. You being a communication expert, you have to listen and be able
Miss, yeah,
to do what
Mr. Cook, I mean,
that's what you do.
let me just ask the president again. I mean, what you're saying, it is true. You cannot leave the government out, which is the Minister of Health and Social Welfare. You cannot leave them out. But my next question to you, is there any plan to engage other doctors outside of the government, people that run other clinics or hospitals in Liberia besides the Ministry of Health? Is there any plan that people want to try to engage people outside of that?
Yeah. Well, let me say, I like to be honest. And let me just say that you have given me an idea that needs to be done as well. We have, like my vice president say, Dr. Nya, the way is here in the U.S. So we really need to talk to people in Liberia. There is a Corona task force, and the task force had put in measures in the beginning that made Liberia one of the lowest. That made Liberia a country with one of the lowest infection rates up until the time the Delta virus variant came in. The task force had even been given an award. The task force, the Corona task force, was even mentioned in the Wall Street Journal for being one of the countries or the organizations in the country, Liberia, that was responsible for Liberia having such a very low incident of infection rate up until this new variant came. So the task force was doing a good job, and we must, at least when we do something right, we must say and give the people their applause. The task force had people like Mary Broad, the Ministry of Health, the CDC representative, and others in Liberia, and doctors from private clinics representing private clinics, and doctors from other clinics. Let me call you that. So we will go to the task force next, now that we've spoken to the minister, and we will also make sure we engage private doctors in private practice.
Okay, so we're going to come back to base here so that we can also set the idea. But in the meanwhile, we need to go a little bit. I see. What is the significance of the task force, Madam President, that you're going to initiate? What specifically will you be doing? What will it be addressing?
If I am correct, the task force was put in place to stop the contagion from spreading fast. And
No,
so I think
not to interrupt you. I'm talking about you. I heard you. I didn't hear you
Oh,
say. Yeah, the task force. Your organization.
our task force,
Right.
the LCADC
Yes.
COVID task force. There
Right.
you go.
What is
So
it?
all these questions that you're asking me, I'm gonna dump these questions on the task force and say to them, I want answers. Who do we need to be talking to? I want you to do research. What is it that we really need to do? Where is the need? What are the messages that need to be put together in various Liberian local languages? What should we do? The task force is supposed to come up with a list of suggestions, a list of tasks that we must do in order to really be effective in not only raising the money or getting people to support what we're doing, but in targeting the rightful way that these all of the resources are expended and used in Liberia. So the task force will, because right now our committee started off as a 26 planning committee, not in a coronavirus committee. It's in the midst of this. We had already started when the variant hit the country.
All right.
I think that we should let the 26 committee complete its 26 job. Then what happens afterwards? The task force takes over.
Okay, well, folks, I'm Afonso Zian, sort of the Liberia Public Radio. We are in conversation with our community leaders, the president of LCADC Metropolitan, Professor Walmont Tourette, and the vice president, Mr. John Pearson, and the rest of the LPR crew. Let's take a quick commercial break and to have our guests get a glass of drink, and we'll be right back.
Ya yo le anuole kona la sele coronavirus be ya be anuole la bia si anuole le sense mo kona le sense mo me sense o wa bi ake so amo ye kwa sense kwa bo aple kwa kople mini don wa iko pa ide mo I ti se bo iko pa ide mo I gwa no play pega iko pa ide mo I pe ya ibe mo bi bo aga I pe ya ibe mo I de ide no go ide ke lo mi ne ibe e lo avlo mo so ka sense nga zu ka to ko bia.
You be more be free. Chiblenka jira ke na won Britanji be ngen de pare ro bochen ba webe wara corona virus ke jiji we da bira muni no oje ke we ma corona virus ke o se penye nwine o da ba ku ke ona nyo private ba woron kanana ke oje ke webe ma corona virus ke de be nyi twen ke mo ne jo yu wa rin son be aye nwoni ke nyi ko ni pra o ke nyi san ni pra ni ne me jo yi ka be de ro da panwe Menje de diyan bengin ke kwa menyu wana ka jenyu ke kwa mo igwo nyu ka be na bleke de du yin mo yin benge de to be o benyu benge wana ke bengo yiblanye bengo mbuchen o kinki mo monda benge nyuru mo kwanyi tode soni mo de suike nin mo yin drian kwai boti sembla juke nyufye bomu ke na de soni dre kwai nyidero yikpoin ne me dre kwai o kwin mo we sembla ke ti sembla ke me dre kwai boti pra kwin o tani mo monda benge de benyo pra point ye bengere mu o nyeni mo ne son ke me ba won juke nyi ko mo o nyi san ni o munio ke mo
going to be doing this here. We are all in it, and this is what we here at Liberia Public Radio. We will do and from time to time. Let me bring in the Liberal Progressive from Saxton, Sacramento. You've been listening keenly today. Mr. Tor, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. So, and Madam Vice President, Mr. Vice President, thank you very much for coming on Liberia Public Radio. We appreciate it. Mr. George, good evening as well. I just want a few things I want to point out very quickly. And the first one, when I came in, the president was talking about having the July 26th. I believe it's going to be at the embassy, and people will be invited to have their own table and stuff. One of the things that I want to suggest on that is, I hope that the president and whoever is organizing it will find or add whatever it is a section where you have, because most of the Liberian diaspora here, you have county organizations, and even now you have section organizations that are very strong as well. So I'm sure most of these section or county leadership will want to have an opportunity where they will come and expand on what it is that they are doing for their community and their county community and what have you. I think that would be a very beautiful thing to do, and to have an opportunity for the brothers and sisters to talk about what it is they're doing in their community. I think that was something Ambassador Salonted started here at one time. I'm not too sure whether they're still functioning with that kind of mindset. Another thing I want to point out here very quickly, as a liberal progressive, when I come to this platform, I tend to listen to people's view. I think the president was saying about engaging the Liberian government or the Liberian arms of those who are responsible for the COVID, and if they want to help, I think it would be a wonderful thing to do. Because I've always said this: Liberia is not a banana republic. Whether we trust these people or not, they are our leaders, and they must be respected. And I think the president recognized that, and the president is taking on that mantle to be able to reach out to the ministry. I think it's a wonderful thing. Whether they're corrupt in our eyes or not, it doesn't matter. These are our leaders, and they're there helping. So if the president wants to engage them, I think it'll be a wonderful thing. One last thing I want to say here is the president also mentioned that when they, I guess when they took office, that their financial coffer was empty, pretty much. And knowing our Liberians, as soon as this project that the president is embarking on, once they become successful, these people who then empty the cover will now come back and say, come and make report. This is a hypocrisy, but it's in our community. That's what we do. So, Madam President, I appreciate what you're doing. I know transparency is something many of you care for. But for people that have perhaps didn't care much about the finance of the community that you are leading now, and I bet as soon as this thing take off and money people start collecting money, people start writing, what are you doing with the money? Well, come and report. These are the same people that for me, I really don't, not that I don't care for them, but their behavior is reprehensible to me. And I think the route you and your vice president is taking, I just wanted to publicly here to say thank you very much, and we appreciate it.
Okay, well, that's the Liberal. So, any reaction from what the Liberal is saying?
Yes, I really appreciate what he said, and it's true when it comes to the community leaders, the county leaders. What happens at the embassy every year? This is the first time LC leadership is actually hosting it. Usually the embassy hosts it, so this is our first time hosting it. But every year they will have county flag from every county in Liberia and territory, and they all represent that. So they will go, individuals from the crowd will come and hold the flag and parade through, music playing, band playing. It's a nice thing. But when it comes to giving account of what the county leaders are doing actually to help their county or their community, that is a great idea, and it's something that we ought to incorporate in our, the evening ball, where these people are invited to come out and tell people that will be sitting and listening to what really their program is and what they're doing to help their counties, in the Americas.
Okay. All right, so let me come back. Let's come back home here to the program here itself, and I think people get the basis of this. What you people are doing from the surface is clear to say is in the interest, especially this one here, honorings of graduates 2020, 2021. That's significant. I mean, people are doing, parents, kids, and children, they are doing where you're honoring them. That's good. So, how can this sort of contribution? There are others who say, Madam President and the program committee, I will not be traveling, but I predict that this is in the interest of the country, and I contribute. So how can they do that? I see $100. There was some people who say, "Well, I get 50, I get 25." Do you accept those sort of donation?
When it comes to contribution
Hmm.
to the whole cause, we'll take $1. We'll take any money, okay? And it's very easy to make the contribution because the LCA has an account that is linked with both Zelle. A lot of people are using Zelle these days, and Cash App. The money goes straight into the LCA's account. So the Cash App.
Let do me a favor. Can you text me those information? We don't have no time to it. When it hard, like brother say, when the iron is hard, that one you can bend it. We want to put it out there so somebody can say, "Oh, they told they even try." I know my people. Let's put it, even if they don't even get it today, that we will continue to do that. And I like to deal with people who are authentic. And the board chairman here, he knows that he's going to give her authority moving forward. As long as it is in the fight of this COVID. Anybody, anytime from your network that you think that want to add up or with, then let us know. We will always bring them on here to talk to Liberians, to engage people. Just text me those information, and I'm gonna put it out, and let we start the process. Those who have $25, $10, $5, $100. Your job is to give, and when you give, the hands are going to receive it. If the hand doesn't do the right work, it's off your back, then you're going to be to it. But I think this is a very worthy cause, and whatever that is in the interest of the country. And once we ask all of these questions, apprehensions, we feel comfortable to do what we, management usually here at Liberia Public Radio. We're going to be doing that. What I'm waiting for that, Mr. Vice President, let's have a conversation here. Little bit here. Is there a short-term or long-term goal for this whole thing here? Are we doing it now because it's a crisis and what people are noted of managing crisis as well? But are we going to go further step beyond this to be proactive so that when things coming ahead, we catch it so that avoid being, something are there plans? Is there a short-term and long-term goal to what you are doing right now?
Oh, you mean the COVID? The COVID?
I mean, yeah, this COVID or even this, because I could be wrong. What I see this leadership of DC area is doing, trying to take a holistic approach to everything here, and hopefully, you guys are going to be in the picture,
right?
On addressing some of the issues confronting the country.
Yeah, that's true. This is the beginning. In fact, the last administration, really, they work hard. They started. I was part of it too as a board member, and we started the program when the president gave Liberia, let's say, end time for the DED. We were those people. I was one of those. Current president was part of the team also. We went to the Senate. We went to the Congress, knocking on doors. We weren't going to take that end time, for an answer. We went up, in person to every congressman house and knocking, and we got pictures with the majority, leader at the time or the minority leader at the time, Steny Hoyer, in his office. We went to many of those offices, knocking on door. And this is how it went on. We got him to sign to turn this DED into, green card. So the process started, and coming into this leadership, our main goal is to unite the Liberian community, bring them together, to have programs together, bring every Liberian organization into the LCA program. Let us collaborate and work together. Liberia needs us desperately. You know, this is a rich country, and Liberia is listed on one of the poorest countries in the world, on the list of one of the poorest countries in the world. So, you know, I mean, it's a no-brainer that we can take from here and give to them, but we have to be able to collaborate and bring in other Liberians who are doing things, such as Alba, the business group. They're also a very great, you know, organization, putting Liberians together to do business, encouraging them. They also work along with us. The president already mentioned ALN, All Liberian Network. They collaborate with people across the nation, including people in the area. We're working with them also to participate in the program at the embassy. So it's an ongoing thing that we want to build. So instead of pointing finger at other organizations, looking at them, admiring them, that we are actually, you know, that we're actually able to incorporate this program into our own, you know, gathering in our own communities and doing it. There's nothing make them any better than us. We just have to be able to work together. So our goal, the president's number one goal, is to unite the community and let's work together to help Liberia. So it's an ongoing program or effort.
I'm glad you mentioned Alba because that group Alba is All Liberian Business Association, and they're established in the DC metro area. And in fact, many of the members of Alba have paid for souvenir program ads. They are buying tickets, and they're getting tables at the embassy to promote their businesses, etc. So Hawa Marvey is the president of Alba, doing a marvelous job. And I just want to give a shout out to Hawa. And we have another great Liberian who, you know, we have done something interesting in this DC area. All of the organizations, Liberian organizations that are in DC, have been established and invited to serve on an advisory board within the LCA. And we call it the Honorary Board of Governors. And this HBOG comprised of the convent and the St. Patrick's and the CWA and the San Nicolas High School, all the schools, counties, churches, all Liberian organizations. They are part of they come under LCA as part of the advisory council to the LCA. So we try our best to keep each other in touch. And go ahead.
Let me ask this question, and anybody can answer. In terms of number of Liberian in Washington, D.C. area, can you lay a finger on it in terms of numbers of resident Liberian residing in that area?
We can use a number like 10, 15,000, but it will not be, it stretches beyond our scope, because where we are only concerned with people who live in those counties, in a few counties of Maryland, not the whole of Maryland, a few counties in Virginia, those that are close to Washington, D.C., as well as Washington, D.C. itself. So that's a good question. And the next time we come on, I will give you a good number.
Let me ask you this, Madam President, and it seemed to me that you and your vice president, and I think the community that you're working with now, I will not hesitate but to say that you guys really do care for Liberia, and we appreciate that. A question I want to ask you is, if this government, present government, or even any other government, Liberian government, were to come to you and ask to see if you can be some sort of a ambassador as a group now, to see, like the vice president talked about the deferred, whatever, I think it's DEA or whatever they call it, that Liberian was fully participating to go and meet with lawmakers and stuff like that. If the government were to ask you guys to do that, was that something that you think your community has the capacity to carry out?
Well, the community has been carrying out such things without government asking, without we to tell you the truth, when I first came into this area, John Lloyd was the president of the LCADC, and the group there had organized. A lot of people did not have papers in the U.S. to be here legally. I mean, thousands of Liberians, right? And the DC group went to Congress, wrote letters, and invited all Liberians from across America. We bust them in. Some of they came from Rhode Island, New York, Ohio, Atlanta. And we all went to the mall. That's the big area in DC there, where all these monuments are. We held a rally. Jack Reed came there. Patrick Kennedy, Sheila Jackson Lee, Front Roy, all these members of Congress and senators came and heard us. And that's how come many Liberians today have their papers. So it hasn't been necessary to wait for government to ask us, because the government does have the ambassador, but we can work together. We are really open to do that. The ambassador also has an opening, and we collaborate a lot. The ambassador will call me and say, Madam President, can you gather the people for this and this reason? Or I go to the ambassador, can we use the grounds? Can we go to do things? So we are open. Yes, we are open. Anything that will help Liberians, we're willing to do our best.
Okay, let me just
that kind of idea of what you guys did for the papers issue here in the United States, can that be transferred to the situation in Liberia in terms of financial help and everything that is of no good in a country that can be helped from the side?
Well,
is that something you guys might be able to work on?
I will say this: LCADC is not a political organization. And I refuse to allow any politics to get involved. But all of us here probably come from different parties. And the government has direct links with the U.S. government through USAID, where funds, lots of money is being channeled to Liberia for health, for education, roads, I mean, you name it, even for the community agriculture, it's already being done. So it's not that the U.S. government spends hundreds of millions of dollars in Liberia. So I don't think there's a lack of money going to Liberia or low amount, but we can help in if there's a place, a specific area of need we can help.
Okay, we've been joined. One of the official is better late than never. Before I bring her in the meantime, this is the cardinal conversation here tonight is how this program can be facilitated, how the support can come in. I'll be coming to you, madam. Those are the information out there that you can send. I try it, so it works. So we here, we don't, for us network, we don't usually give. We always like to intercede to do a fundraiser, whether it's a $5 or $10. What is important, the purpose of that, where is it going, where will it be directed? So for us here, Madam Professor, to your leadership, this is something from the conversations and the questions we have asked you. We have no doubt that this is a genuine and authentic cause. In that direction, to LPR, we're not going to announce it. Open that envelope. I try to cash out. It works, and we have given. And it's good the board here, the board chairman is here, because that's the same thing we're talking. What can we do with this COVID here? And guess what? Something going to happen this evening. So we have sent a donation. We want to encourage our followers, and even with your permission, during our regular programming moving forward, we will be making this sort of announcement. That's our own way of giving back to the community. That's the essence of being behind the microphone. So that's the number there, folks. The Zelle, I try to cash up. No problem. We have Zelle. We can do it as well. So let's bring in here. I believe she's situated. Madam Renant Jari is the July 26th program committee chair, correct?
Thank you. Yes, I'm the vice chair for the 26th program.
Okay, so I'm not sure. Are you situated now? You want to talk? I'm gonna give you a few seconds. Why you set me now?
Well, I'm situated. I apologize for being late. I'm unsure where you are in the program, so I'm not sure where I need to come in. I don't know if my chairman is on. He was supposed to speak about a certain part of the program. If not, I can give you an overview of what's going to happen for the July 20th.
Yeah, let's please do that. It's better late than never. Go to you. You are here.
Okay, thank you so much for the Independence Day celebration. We will be having a couple of events. I want to talk about the July 24th event. Will be held at the Embassy of the Republic of Liberia in Washington, D.C. That event will be on the 24th of Saturday, the 24th. It starts at 9 o'clock and will be on the embassy grounds until 7 o'clock. And it will be a day of fun for the family. It's a festival. It will be a day of fun for the family. We have music, lots of music. We have a talent show, open microphone. You don't have to practice. Once you arrive there and you feel like you have something to share, we are particularly inviting the youth to come to our stage and show your talent with your talent show. We'll also be honoring high school students who graduated last year and this year. Please submit the names of those students if you have any relatives or friends that you want to be honored that day at the embassy yard. High schoolers, please let us know, and that child will be honored. Also, we have food sale, we have food, and we have lots of vendors. We'll be selling tables, and you can purchase your table. Food tables are $150, and goods, anything, if you have jewelry, if you have your organization, you want to advertise, or anything you're selling, clothing, African clothing, or whatever kind of clothing you're selling, that will be good. The tables for those kinds of things will be $100. You can Cash App directly to the Liberian Community Association DC to our Cash App. It's just the $ LCADC and put in the reference area. Just say you want a table, just a table, and see what kind of table you want. For anyone trying to make a contact for the July 24th program, that will be our contact person is the chair of the program committee, Mr. Kwesi Kima. And I have a phone number. We can later share our flyer with you. I don't know if you have.
He has been sharing the flyer.
Yeah, we'll share. We'll send you the flyer so that we can, share that. So that will be for the 24th. And then on July 31st is our main Independence Day ball that will be held at the St. Andrew Ukrainian Hall in Silver Spring. It's also listed on the flyer. I particularly want to talk about the tickets. If you are interested, and we ask that you please come and sponsor us or support the Liberian community in DC. The patron tickets will be $100. And for the $100, you'll get preferential seating. Your name will be listed in the program brochure for the evening. And then we have regular tickets at $50. For those who are in charge of the ticket, Ms. Jacqueline Na and Mr. Leon Mensa, they're also listed on the flyer. And then for that evening, we are selling ads in the souvenir brochure. And the ads are $100 for full page, $60 for a half page, and $30 for a quarter page. We want to particularly encourage Liberian businesses. If you're in the area, or even if you are not in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area, but you are a Liberian business, please contact us and send an ad, because this will be a good way to showcase your business. Many times people are looking for certain things, certain kind of businesses, and they don't know that Liberians have those businesses. So if you advertise in the brochure, it will be a good way of letting people know that these businesses exist. Madam President, I don't know if I left anything out. You want to chime in there? But that is the gist of the two festivities that we have coming up for the July 26th Independence Day celebration.
Well, thank you very much for providing that information. So we are asking people to pay for tables to come and present their things. We're asking people to buy tickets for the ball. And
Yes.
we're asking you to also, if you have a business, an organization, or maybe you want to memorialize a family member
Exactly.
who may have passed, you can take a page in a very nice booklet that you can keep forever. The program, the souvenir program, is keepsake.
I think part of the sponsorship, LPR will try to see whether we can create an advertisement. I mean, we have to support this as a cause. I think it's a water cause. What we have not talked about here, the event is just a 1 day, 2 day. What I find interesting here is after July 26th, what becomes of this committee? The COVID is not going to go away. What is the next move? How can people keep making this donation? I think that's very significant to also dwell on that.
Yeah, we said that we are going to, because the program committee, the 26th program committee, was just dealing with the 26 programs.
Okay.
So it does not carry on. But we are going to set up a COVID task force. We talked about it.
Yeah.
An
Okay.
LPA-DC COVID task force. And that will be the group that will carry on with what next, what exactly we do in Liberia, and how do we really use all this whatever funds we raise to help stop COVID. So we're setting up a task force.
So let me throw this out. In the midst of the leadership here, how is the process? How you guys feel so far? What are you hearing from ordinary Liberians so far since the inception of this, Mr. Vice President?
Yes. Well, a lot of people are excited to see some real actions and, invitation to be a part of the community. And we were actually planning, more than, we ended up with because of the time. Things started opening up late, very late, allowing people, they had tight restrictions in DC, Maryland, Virginia. So we didn't start till, really getting place very, very, very late. So we had to minimize what we were doing. But everybody we talk to or have seen our, flyers, they're excited. Some people, they've been indoor for a long time, 2020, and then into, 2021. Nothing is happening in the community. So people are eager to come out. So when they see that we're planning programs, that we're actually reaching out to everybody, it's exciting to most people, and they're hoping that this is going to continue. And, we're also learning as well, involving the community. So now that we know what we have to deal with, our committee, this committee, I think this is one of the greatest committee, right here we have, our chairman is right here.
Fatima on the boning table. Farm Bonnie. No ratting Bonnie. Even when
that's true. That's true. Miss Jared, she keeps us in check. Our, our chairman, he's another one, no nonsense guy, and we have learned now. So next year we know exactly what to do with to start much earlier planning the program, and we also will be having a better program. Even this is going to be just as good, but we'll have a bigger program.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I just wanted to add to what our vice chair had said.
Sure.
This is truly an exciting time for the LCA. As you know, we have a new president, and she's on the ball, and we're really looking forward to this the Independence Day event. So we just want to encourage everyone to come out, and the momentum is high. People are calling, and so get your tickets, get your spot in the souvenir brochure.
Oh.
And we look forward to seeing a lot of people out for the event.
My God, I'm getting a text here. Somebody said the whole year they never had a dance, so they say
that would be a good time.
I hope
that come from New York, Philadelphia, Delaware.
Yeah, we're gonna be there.
Come
let me just tell you that, Madam President, make sure you find some extra sandals and shoe, because people potentially their shoe and sandals you will get broken, and then you might so that they can go in any of the vehicle trunk and find some here to get it done. But on a serious note, that's the information that please, folks, can we open our phone line just in case we always like to have that sort of connection with our guests when they come here with the audience? Do you have time on hand? Maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes to put a phone number up so that people who want to call and maybe get some feedback from the audience. Is that something you want to do, guys?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So in the meantime, let it cap on baby. That's the number that the cash app. If you don't get cash app, everybody gets there. You don't get there, you get cash app. So nobody can get any excuse here. And just go there, get plugged. When you make mistake, the finger hit 500, just let it go. Don't say I made mistake. Okay, folks, this is what we do here at Liberia Public Radio, and we always value our listeners because their voice matters. We're going to be wrapping all here with a guest, and then I want to do analysis from our contributor here from what they have gathered so far. But that's the number there. If you want to call, please do that quickly. We're not talking about who rap-playing, who not rap-playing. This is strictly for now. The process, this leadership quest to give assistance to the COVID exercise in Liberia. So questions should be sent or suggestions should be sent to the point of conversation that we are having here. The number is 682-433-8802. As you know, this is a regular number. It's also available via WhatsApp, just in case you want to call to international. Folks that are listening to Liberia, from Liberia, we're monitoring here. We want to thank you so much, wherever you are. That's the number there. I will just keep it on there for a meantime and go back to the team. If there are any other information, something that they think they want to share with us, they can do that. If not, we will try our possible best to get all of the information during our regular programs here. We will kind of re-echo and emphasize on that. Is there anything specific, Madam President, Vice President, and program person that perhaps you wish we have talked on and we just didn't touch on, you want to talk about?
Well, one thing we know, we're also in collaboration with the Council of Churches or Liberian churches, the church leaders.
Oh,
And yeah, we have been working with them, and I don't recall us, mentioning them. And the president got a program where we'll be visiting them, etc. And she has started already, so she might want to elaborate on that.
Oh, yes. Thank you for that, Mr. Vice President. On the 18th of July, the whole event starts off with church program at the church of Reverend Orlando Flan, his Lutheran church. And I think the organization is officially called the Liberian Association of Liberian Ministries in the DC metro area. And they are having a Thanksgiving program on the 18th at his church in Laurel. Also, we've been invited by the Liberian Baptist
Seminary?
the Liberian, what they call it? The Christian Baptist Church. It's headed by Reverend Joseph Boyu, and they've invited the LCA to have service with them on the same 18th, but that is on Zoom at 11. And then at 4, we go to Reverend Orlando Flan's church, the same 18th.
Wow.
There's another program on the 25th, the next Sunday, and that is an American group. I think I mentioned that. It's also on Zoom in collaboration with Friends of Liberia. We will be hosting a program dedicated to Liberia. And these are American people who were one-time Peace Corps volunteers in Liberia.
Oh, wow.
And they will be working with us. They've asked us to help them put the program together. And that's the program that I've invited the Minister of Health and the Ambassador to talk about the Minister of Health is telling us what the situation is and what the needs are. And then we take it from there and can figure out what we want to do to help with those needs. So we've also been invited to harvest Intercontinental Ministries. It used to be called Bethel. Darlingston Johnson is the bishop. We will be worshiping with them also on the 25th, but at 8:30 in the morning. So 8:30, we'll be very busy. We will be praying. All the churches we're going to will be praying for Liberia. So on the 18th, we have 2 services. On the 25th, we have 2 services in the morning with Darlingston Johnson Church in the 8:30, and then by 11 with the Peace Corps volunteers, their church. And all of those churches, some of them are in person, but they all have Zoom links. So we will share the links next week when they are provided. They have not yet been provided with us. To us. So we'll be praying for Liberia with all the different Liberian churches.
I hope you get some Tylenol and ibuprofen to take, because that's not that's more journey you're gonna be on here.
Sometimes we don't realize what work means. Work don't mean train chapia alone, or digging to plant, or giving operation. Work means, like I said, sharing information. And that's my area of work. And I feel that when I go to these churches, I'll be able to share information and put us in a spiritual space where we ask for the Almighty to bless our occasion, bless our nation, and bless our vision so that we go in the right direction. So our work is different. It's informational, educational.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question here. And I know you have quizzed people in the past as well. So here we go. You usually, these things comes in the form of being the philanthropists. You know, people will give, they will do this. This is not for these political reasons. There is no any political intention. We are just strictly community based. Okay, things can change down the road. Are we going to see anything in the kingdom to go in a different direction to say, okay, but we did this COVID thing, so the people want me to be senator, they want me to be representative. Is that something we want to see at the end of the day, or nothing off the table?
No, I'm too tired already. They work with just this little community.
It is cool.
It's a lot.
Okay.
And all the different fires you got to put out and manage. And I take things seriously. It's very difficult for me to go and do things that I don't believe in. So there's nothing like on my plate or in my vision to do. I'm not interested in doing politics. I mean, of course, I would support people here and there and support candidates, or vote and do my duty as far as what I'm allowed to. But personally, me, no.
Okay.
That's not our intention at all.
All right, just do us a favor. Maybe you can add us to your mailbag from the community what you're doing. So that way we can also enhance in the information to you sharing, not just on it for this here, but anything for us at LPR. We see that looks authentic and real. We don't hesitate to kind of get it out there in the public cycle. With that said, I know it's late. People are going to be getting ready for work tomorrow. You are professor, even though things going, other people doing different things. Let's start from this end here. Madam Chair, you know, it's better late than never. Give us a quick run through here before we bring this program to an end. Maybe checking your pocketbook. I'm sure you forget something you want to throw out there. Is there any other thing, or what is your final closing statement, Madam Jari?
Well, my final statement is just to encourage people to come. You know, this is a very difficult time for the country of Liberia. We're going through a very difficult time right now, but independence is important. And so we want to come together and celebrate each other during that weekend, during the 24th and the 26th, the 31st, I'm sorry, the 31st. In fact, I want to add that on the 31st, we will also be honoring college graduates, those who have graduated from college, those who have obtained their master's and PhD, that upper level, we will be recognizing them and honoring them as well. So we have a packed program for the celebration, and I just want to encourage people to come. Get your tickets, get your ads, you know, contact us, and so that we can come together and celebrate who we are.
Okay, so Mr. Vice President, you see, today this event, I see the importance of having a number 2 person and number 1 person to coordinate. And in essence, that number 2 must all will fill in that gap to get it back. It's perfectly illustrated here, and you are a great vice president. Maybe a day I rather run for vice president. You will be my vice president. Go for me. I can't try. Okay, so Mr. Vice President, it was good having you here. Hopefully, it's not going to be the same time. I mean, it's not going to be the last time here. Moving forward to engage these community organizations to also come here. What is your message you want us to take home tonight?
Well, my message is simply we want Liberians to come together. Every Liberian in the community to come together. Let us work together for a good cause.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is our message to all Liberians, but in our community, we want us to work together and build our strength, because strength is always in numbers. You'll be surprised what we can do. A lot of people have things on their mind they would like to do, they want to do, they wish it could happen. We got to stop admiring others and just come and give credit to the previous administration. They created the HBOG. These are leaders, people in leadership roles. They brought them together. I was a member of that group before, before I resigned from my role as the president of the Metro chapter for my organization. So when you come there, you share your idea. Let's work together. What do you need in your town, in your community, in your county to help? How can we help? We created a calendar for every organization in the area. When you're having programs, since we don't have enough people to share around, put on a calendar so you cannot, collaborate with, let's say, coincide with another organization doing programs, so we can come and support you. So whatever your cost is, you can raise enough money to take care of that. So this is something that we continue to, will continue to improve, but we want to call them out. Stop pointing finger or looking over your shoulder. Just do it.
Okay. So let's come to the end of this whole marathon in this conversation here with Professor and also President. I thought you were going to in retirement, but there's no indication, still willing to give back to the community, which is good. I don't want to start this interview all over. How Mr. Collins, the mayor of Montana, why was he picked?
Well, to tell you the truth, the mayor and I were working on a different project altogether. And we were in a conversation with the ambassador and some other folks. And I mentioned that we're having 26, and he said, I am coming.
Like that.
I will be in DC. And I said to him, well, Mr. Mayor, if you're going to if you're going to spend your money and come all the way here to have 26 with us in DC, then you got to be our special guest.
And what did he say?
And he said, absolutely. And I put his name on the program. And then it went from special guest to, guest speaker.
All right.
Because he offered on his own.
Okay. I try to follow your step, how you used to quiz people here. So I was just a little bit curious here. All right, Professor, thank you. What is your final closing statement before we let you go?
Yes, I really want to take this time to sympathize with a member of our community, the family of David Dewey. David went to Liberia, and we lost him to this Delta variant of COVID. He had no underlying condition. David was quite healthy, but he did not take his vaccination. So we will be celebrating his homegoing on the 18th, next Wednesday, at the Grace Memorial Church in Silver Spring. It's a memorial service because he was buried in Liberia. Since he died in Liberia, they didn't bring the body. And I just want to say, we will all be there with David's wife and children, giving him a homegoing. So we ask people to take the vaccination. People in Liberia, people here, do your research, read about it, and take the vaccination. And finally, I would like to really thank the members of my team, my Vice President, John Pearson, and the co-chair, the Vice Chairman of the Program Committee, the 26th Committee, Rena Jarrett. I want to thank the two of them for actually being here. And of course, thank all the rest of the team. Wese Kema, Jackie Na, Roland Huff, and Mr. Arthur Wiado, along with Leon Menza, for really working hard on this program.
Okay, well, again, it was an honor having you and your team here. We always remain open to, like I said, don't hesitate to share out also into the mailbag moving forward, whatever agenda we will also help to enhance. And anytime you want to come here or your committee members, just let us know and we can make up time for that. Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. We appreciate it. We appreciate you for doing this.
Thank you so much.
You and your entire team.
Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
All right, guys, have a pleasant
Thank you.
evening. All right.
Good
Yes.
Thank
evening.
you and good
Bye,
night.
everybody. Thank you.
Good night.
Okay. Okay, well, folks, that's how we're going to do it. We're going to do a little bit quick push around there. That's Professor Waldmont Mashanini Red, former editor of the Liberian State Broadcasting Corporation, a veteran journalist who knows how to manipulate the microphone here as well. Quickly here, before we do a quick run through to analyze the conversations and where we're going to be going, I was playing a video that I saw yesterday from the Director General in his Panorama program, Kwame Opa Weeks, and that claimed my attention. There are two stuff I will try to play here. Let me just play this one here, and I want to bring it in.
No, I I'm telling you now, my boy, okay, what year you are born? Yeah, but what year you are born? But why you leave the papier alone, man. Go ahead. Yeah. Okay, so 56, that means you were born 1984. So you see that? 66? Okay, good job. Okay, let me ask you. That's a good job. I mean, you are trying to take out 67. You're going to 67. Yeah. Okay, be serious. Yeah. I mean, to see an older guy like you, you know, you're energized. Yeah. You're still very, very strong for your age and going out there. Talk about this bridge. Yeah. Look at the bridge.
Where the bridge, we want you people, the NGO to come in, and also the government to think. You see, one good thing I noticed about the country, we don't pay attention to the common people.
This is serious.
We don't pay attention to the common people. Let's see the amount of people that are here today in a swamp here. Why they in a swamp for? Because no care. Come in the swamp to buy the land, but there's no road. Look at the bridge. I see. You got the little children there, our grandchildren, they can't even walk on the bridge. And you people are up there. By the time we select you, then you're on left foot. Then the first thing, you made a car dark. Because you don't want to see anybody say I want to.
So before the election, the car can be clear.
But the car can be clear. But when the election take place, when they win now, then the car dies. Even want to look at somebody said, even when an old person or somebody that you know said, the area you and the people going to eat family with Momoe and case me, by the time the man said I say those people not my tap. They claiming a high authority now. You see? And so you see what happened, it looks so sorrowful again because some of the wickedness they're doing to others, some of them you see you find some ministers then renting. They're renting who horse. You find some representatives that they're renting horse. That the cares are on where they're doing to us. God self punishing them, not us. Wow. And we all we living there with God. Because you now, for example, now, you can't say you want woman. You got a woman in the home, you can't feed your woman. Then that mean you want a woman?
No.
Okay. You say you want children. Oh, the woman can't born, the woman can't born. The woman give you part of children. Then
you can't feed them.
You can't feed them, you're telling you back. Then the next thing now, you went to open beer table. Almost.
here. What looks like an island. To be honest, what happened?
Okay, this is the one that was Mr. Tor and Pat George. This is the most. This is a defining one here to see how our country, how the country is being challenged. This was an extraordinary piece. Kwame Opa Weeks from Lenant. He's really getting out there to get the day out. I want you to listen to this because I didn't see the live. I catch it late last night while I was awake. Believe me, tear rolls down my eyes. Let me just play this here, and you want to listen for yourself.
Ma, let her stay there. We'll go there. How do we go there? Huh? So she's in the grass. Look at the kids. Yeah, and I said, Uncle Macan. Let's go. And I see Uncle Macan there. So let's go walk in the mud.
This is in Morovia, by the way, Chocolate City, Snow Hill, Chocolate City, in Morovia.
So,
Just
Chairman,
outside.
there are a lot of people trying to get in contact with you.
This is the capital you're looking at.
Put your number so you see. This is where we came from. You see that place there is so muddy. Getting into the other side, you see tadpoles. Those are the little fingerling thing that looks like that turns into frogs later on. Tons of them, thousands of them, littering all over the place. Now we're on another little island. That's you. You live here. What's your name? Mona, if I look at you, you're not more than 23 years old. Why are you tying your face?
The way you're looking at you, see, no one reached 23-year-old.
Yeah, because I see your face, you're a small girl. Mona, how you end up in this place? Your auntie? You got children? Let me see your children. Let me see them. This one? Don't push them so that what are name? Anointed?
Yeah.
And Josh?
Yeah.
You gotta clean her nose. Wow. And how old are you now?
I'm 18.
You 18? What the Lord have mercy. How old is this boy?
4 years.
He's 4 years. If he's 4 years, so that means you had him when you were 14 years old. Huh? See, Chairman, I told you there was something. I've been doing this for a very long time. And when I saw this house, I know these houses, I said, there's something that must not be right around here. Wow. So you had him at 14. Talk about how you had him. No, talk. Be honest. What happened when you had him at 14?
When I in school, my grandma passed off. I had a girl on the street, no family to go to.
You got on the street?
No family to go to, like, I brought my friend.
A girl?
Yeah, she brought me.
So you went on the street at 14?
Yeah.
What you were doing on the street?
I looking for place to sleep, place to live.
And that's how you came across his father? Yeah. You know his father? Where is he?
Now he ain't go to away.
Where is he?
He ain't go to away.
He living in the house here?
Yeah.
How old was he?
19.
He 19 years now? That two of you living in here?
Yeah.
What kind of work he does?
He ain't go, I don't know how to call it. I'm not control with him. He ain't go have the people and pay in the house. He have to sweep, lock the area, and come.
So he go have the people sweep the place, lock the place, and come home. And your last child?
Yeah.
How old is she?
She 1 year 9 months.
1 year 9 months. So basically almost like 2 years. So you had this one when you were 16, like 16 years old, right? Can I see where you guys stay?
Yeah.
You want me to see where you stay?
Yeah. Where we stay?
Yeah. In there you can sleep?
Yeah.
You want to open the door? Let me see. Yeah, open it. Come on.
Another way. Come on.
Where mama?
Come back.
What her need? Ellie? We need light. So this is where, okay, just open the door wide.
You get outside.
Get outside. So
Now you're outside.
So the mattress is basically on the sand. When it rains, the water will come all in here, right?
No, it can only leak from up.
It can leak from up. Wow. Guys, those of you watching, we can help this girl. I'm just asking you guys a favor. We can help this girl. Let me see. So let me see. So look at the, what's this? That's the bed? It's for?
Yeah.
Give me light. So show the light there. See that? So this is the bed, right? Wow. So that your pots there, this is the pot you can cook in?
Yeah.
That the only pots you got? That your water, that your everything there. So look, so show the light here. What that squirrel digging in that hole?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Show the light there. So you see? So these things that digging in the hole, they don't affect the children? That crab digging there?
Wow.
So the crab can bite them in the night. So there's another hole there again. But look at that's outside there. Yeah, whole thing that's outside. So basically that's outside there.
Yes. Outside.
Yeah, you can see outside. Look at her table. I miss all of this. Look at this. They got God, Jesus picture right over them. And he's watches over them every night. This is so awesome. Wow. Is this thing working?
No.
So you see what appears to be like a makeshift speaker. Okay, look at that.
I'll play with.
So this is just like a little table you're using, right? Let's go. Look at that, right there. You see, that's outside. You see right there. Oh gosh, what's and the cutie pie here? Her name?
Anointed.
The anointed here.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go outside. That whole phone here with the light. That you, eh? Wow. Oh my God. Mona, come out here. Look at the other mattress on the floor. Here, let me go behind. Yep. There are a lot of ants. There are a lot of ants all behind here that is taking us. Take a look where they're living. Where is she? Do you have a number?
Yeah.
What's your number?
0778.
0778
27.
huh?
0778
27
0870.
0870. Okay, so let me ask you this. If people were trying to help you, relocate you and these children from here, would you be happy? Or you still want to be here?
Talk to the people.
These children, they're not in school. They're not in school, right? They're not in school. You don't have nobody behind you. You just you and your 19-year-old boyfriend, and oh my gosh, I'm really suffering from headache now. Suffering from headache now. One Diamond Maya Gates wants to know your name. Your name.
My name is
Muna Nangwe. That's Anointed and George right there. So Paul and David said, Mr. Weeks, you are doing the right thing. Can you bring that phone?
Gentlemen, this is something that I saw last night. I don't know whether you saw that, but it's in the capital. That's Morovia. I'm not talking about Grand Bassa. I'm not talking about Grand Gita. I'm not talking about Lofa, Sino, Maryland. That's right in Morovia. People, she's almost my daughter age group. See the life. These are the things that we are talking about. People gamut the country's life. It will have leaders. We have people who profess to be leader. That is in district number. Which when Sir Joseph was representative, which district was that? I think when you look at the whole video, the folks say he have to do the first work and Chocolate City is which district is that?
Is it when Chocolate City? Is it 11, 10?
Yeah, 10, either 10 or 11. Sir Joseph, yeah, but Baralan, see life. He's 18-year-old. 18.
Yes.
That's how serious it is.
So, look, it's very sad, but this is not strange to some of us. I remember back, and I don't want to equate my own life to what we just watched. What we just watched was horrible. But back in 19, I believe it was 76 or 70, 74, I was in New Britain area, 75. So around 75, 76. I used to live in a shanty town around Zing House in Clara Town. And just like the area she lives over there, the way we go to the house is to walk on the plank, the one they just have over there. And we go, so when it rains, they do river comes all the way into the room. Yeah, at night, everybody gonna stand up and make sure you try to find your own little corner in the room where there's no rain or anything and stuff like that. So some of us went through a lot, to be honest with you, and other places, so life in Liberia, it's not just now. It's not just this government. Our leaders never really care for people, never care for anybody. Back in I believe it was 1974, there was, I don't know what you guys heard about this story, but right after there's a cinema, you're coming down to towards where they have a basketball camp up there on not Center Street but Lane Street. I think it's I feel forgetting the name of it, but they have a basketball.
Let's make it brief. I'm having a headache.
Crown Hill Cinema supposed to be somewhere there.
No. There's a basketball. It's a sport complex. Sport complex.
What you call it? Sport complex. Is on Broad and Lane Street. Is it Lane Street?
Yes, exactly. Right, but before that,
Sport Commission.
Yes, Sport Commission. On the other side of it, they used to have a big breadfruit tree.
Yeah,
and they
right in the place like a little dish, right down there.
Yes. I was living on there. There's an old zing round there that I was living there for some time. Some kid climbed up there one time to get breadfruit and fell from there and died. Look, Moldova has never been a place where people will go and try to enjoy life easily, except for those who already have the life. I feel for these people.
All right, this is what we're going to do.
It's not something that the government, it's not just this government, previous government, our leaders in Liberia never really pay attention to people a lot.
Okay, guys, we got to leave it here tonight. We had a peaceful conversation, but I just couldn't go without giving this to the audience. Pa George, 30 seconds, please.
Well, to the people in the Maryland area, I think the professor and the other code officer, I think they are trying to do something better for the community. And I would just urge everybody to give them the support that they need to carry on what project they are carrying for Mama Liberia, because it's tough there. So
okay.
That's all.
All right, well, folks and our viewers, far and near, we want to thank you for sharing your evenings, Sunday evening with us. Without you, we can't do here. And to our guests, come here, the leadership, I think their cause is worthy. Let us not be judgmental. We must give them the second chance. Let us contribute to Liberia. Gentlemen, have a pleasant evening, and thank you for your time.
Money. Oh, mama, they don't want to pay. You have become a boo-boo man. Your best friend is now your secret enemies. Your mother-in-law don't even want to see you. At your job side, they call you for nothing. I say in your family, they call you useless.
Well, folks, that's how we're going to go home here this evening. I want to thank you so much for sharing your Sunday evening with us right here at the Liberia Public Radio. Thank you so much for your time, your patience, tolerance, and please see what is happening in our country. For those of you who are making choices, it's okay, but your choices must be in the interest of the country.
For too long now, you are holding on and making Jesus to run on. So let it go. It is painful, let it go. Oh yeah, mama, let it go.
Yeah, we want to let it go, but they got to do something. We can't just let it go like that. They got to do something. Let them understand that they represent the country. We elected them to serve us first and foremost.
Let it go. Help me let it go, man. Oh yes,
well, Mr. John Brown, President KW Colt, and my own sister, Harris, thank you so much for your time. To Ibrahim, to John, and the list goes on. Well, folks, that's how we're going to learn the program here this evening. Thank you so much. I'm Alfonso Z and Sort of the Liberia Public Radio. By God's willing, same time, same week, we're going to be back here with more programming in proportional for the good of our country. Until then, have a pleasant evening.
It's the time to come together. Keep Liberia safe forever.
You've worked for months to bring your or your client's event to life, but unfortunately, the world had another plan. In reality, the only thing you lost is the venue. We take your vision for hosting a virtual conference and bring it to life online. No matter how complex your agenda is, we produce a smooth, engaging experience. Call the Liberia Public Radio today and schedule your event. Our number is 682-433-8802. If you prefer to submit your request via email, please send the request to liberiapublicradio2012@gmail.com. Our staff are standing by waiting for your phone call.
You're so
Everybody, everything's going bad. The situation getting worse. Everybody in the country getting mad. Dishonesty, poverty on the rise. The leaders them making into promises. Promises for no damn strategies. Yeah, this is better days, money in the pockets. Oh, after holidays only for the bosses. Yeah, there's a better days, money in your pockets. Oh, after holidays only for the bosses. Oh yo, hey, what about the children? What about the people? What about your families? What are they gonna eat though? Yeah, so Seppi and we wait here. Uh-oh. Yeah, so waiting and we happy. They don't really care about you. They don't care, my people, it's true. They don't want to see you break through. The whole country's getting confused. Corruption, no questions. The country's going in the wrong direction. Leaders I barely many mentions.